That little Mr. P, homie, he been around a lot longer than you think, and he knows people connected to Spike of the female variety, if you know what I'm saying. You can figure out the rest, Joe.
Welcome back to Brawl Justice. I'm your host, Lex. Now, in the last episode, we uncovered a mysterious and possibly devious connection between Mr. P and one of the Brawl Stars community managers, Danny. Now, perhaps even more foreboding was that cryptic clue from Can You Dig It on the possible perpetrator. Now, what does all this mean? Who is behind the crime? Today, we will finally uncover the truth of what really happened to Spike's voice. When we left off, the often sketchy and always janky Can You Dig It told us that Spike knew someone connected to Mr. P that was female. Now, who was he talking about? What clues could we have possibly overlooked? Now, we scoured back through Detective Rayburn's notes, but we couldn't find anything new. We also attempted to reach back out to him to see if he would consider taking back on the case, but the last known whereabouts for Rayburn was in a mental facility, suffering from PTSD caused by, well, this case. Sorry, Rayburn. So we needed to get back to our roots and do a little investigating of our own. Now we have 3 major questions to answer, and by doing so, perhaps we will find more clues to lead us to the voice thief himself or herself. Question 1. How does Mr. P know Danny, and was he involved? Question 2. Who was the mysterious figure that night at the mill when Rayburn peed himself? And question 3, who is the person that Can You Dig It alluded to that was connected to both Mr. P and Spike? To answer the first question, we've decided to pressure Danny once again. Last time, he avoided us with the excuses of being on vacation. This time, we won't be so easy to brush off. Get it? It's a hair joke. You know, Danny, brush, combing? No? Nobody? Okay. Hey Danny, how was vacation?
So it's good. It's good to take like some time off work and spend some time with the family.
All right, man, you can drop the act, Danny. I know that you were actually there when I called. Someone inside the Brawl Stars team said that you were just back there, just combing your hair, and that you didn't want to bother with even answering my call.
No, I was really on vacation.
Okay, all right. I mean, I guess that's interesting, but the real question I have for you isn't going to be so easy to dismiss. How exactly do you know Mr. P, Danny?
I wouldn't say that I know him. Like, listen, I was on vacation and then Mr. P showed up. He asked for a picture. I took the picture with him, and that's as far as I know the guy.
I mean, that's interesting, but you're from Brazil, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay, well then how do you explain the Pernambuco sap found on the door handle at the abandoned mill Mr. P was seen going to?
Well, I guess I can't.
Okay, well, I mean, do you know anything about Spike's voice and why it was taken away from him?
No, that actually took place before I even joined Supercell. But, well, there is more to that. Let's just say that there are some people there in the company that they have reasons to be silencing Spike.
What?
So I guess that's all I can say. I'm sorry, I gotta go.
No, wait, Danny, okay, don't go. I have questions. Okay, so we didn't get the answers from Danny we expected. However, we did get something else most unexpected. Danny knows people who have reasons for silencing Spike? Now, our working theory was that the mysterious figure that night at the mill was Danny because, well, he fit the description given by Rayburn. So if it wasn't Danny, who was it? Perhaps this figure was the person who had connections to Spike and Mr. P, as Can You Dig It and even perhaps Danny have hinted at. So who was that person? Now, Dig It said that the person connected to Spike was a female, but in the picture, the person appeared to be male. We sent the picture off for some forensic analysis and uncovered something startling. Yeah. Can you dig it? I mean, I would say that I'm surprised, but let's be honest, I'm not. So was the female comment simply a misdirect? Is Can You Dig It involved in this? Well, there's only one way to know for sure. Face to face with Can You Dig It himself. Yo, Digga, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, man, I'm good. About as good as your mama was after last night.
Dude, you realize that we're brothers and that my mother is your mother too, right?
Man, whatever. Why you even be coming down to the slums, yo? Just to visit your big brother?
Alright. First off, dude, I was born first, so I'm your big brother. Secondly, I just wanted to show you something.
Okay, what you gonna show me? How stupid you look?
You realize that we're identical twins? Alright, dude. I was hoping you'd tell me what this is.
Man, that don't mean nothing, Lex. Just because it looks like I was there at the mill when Rayburn was there, it doesn't mean that I know Mr. P and that I was helping him and the big guy framed Danny.
Big guy? What big guy?
Who said big guy? I never heard of him, man.
No, you literally just said big guy, Diggit.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You said it, and you confirmed my other suspicions, dude. So, who's this big guy, and how was he involved in all of this?
Yo, man, I didn't confirm nothing, yo. Now give me that picture. Yeah, you ain't never gonna catch me.
Oh, man. What's wrong with that guy? Okay, so clearly Diggit is involved. He said he was helping Mr. P and someone he referred to as the big guy and that they were trying to frame Danny. So we've learned a few things. 1, Danny is innocent. 2, Diggit is definitely involved. 3, Mr. P is as guilty as ever. And 4, there is another person involved, a big guy. So who is this big guy and how is he involved in all of this? Now, normally this is the point where I'd call upon Rayburn, but again, mental institution. And to make matters worse, a nurse said that he had Miley Cyrus on repeat and that he was dancing in nothing but his socks and underwear. Yeah, enjoy that mental image. Oof. However, there is always one brawler who has his ear to the ground, and that's Mortis. Now, mainly that's for listening to Dynamite's footsteps, but he also has already given us some information on Mr. P, and well, let's face it, we're desperate. Hey Mort, hey man, sorry to bother you again, but listen, we just uncovered another player in the whole Mr. P Spike mystery thing. Have you ever heard of someone referenced to as the big guy?
The big guy, eh? He is not an easy one to get to. I'd hate to be the one who gave him up.
Well then, what can you tell me about him?
Let's just say that if the big guy is involved, you better uninvolve yourself right now. This is one tree you do not want to shake.
I can't do that, Mort, dude, sorry. I mean, listen, justice has to be served, and honestly, there's nobody left, it's just me, so I gotta do what I gotta do.
Well, I'll start digging your grave right now. But if you really want to go down this path, the only clue I can give you, without putting myself in danger, is bicolor.
Ooh, bicolor.
I'm warning you, Lex, you're going after the puppet master. This is the man that pulls all the strings, and... how dare you? Oh no, it's you. I didn't say anything. I swear. Lex, he is not who you think he is.
Mort!
Unhand me.
Are you okay? Mort! Mortis! Hello?
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program of Sugar and Spice Baking Tips with Piper for this breaking news. An elderly gravekeeper was found in shock after an apparent home invasion. Witnesses claim that a large, angry man was spotted minutes after the commotion driving away in a black Volvo. The victim has been identified as gravekeeper Mortis. In related news, a parade celebrating Mortis' demise was seen marching down the streets of Super City. The leader, a crazy-eyed miner with a pet canary, was asked for a quote, but unfortunately, him and his buddies couldn't stop spinning long enough to answer. We now return you to Piper's kitchen, where she appears to be mixing some batter, or gunpowder. We aren't quite sure.
Man, I hope Mort's okay, but could this attacker be the big guy? I mean, clearly Mortis was afraid of him, and it seemed like for good reason. So, what do we know about the big guy? He's big, he's a guy, he drives a black Volvo. Also, Mortis gave us the clue of bi-color. Could it be that this new ringleader is responsible for not only the attack on Mortis, but also the disappearance of Spike's voice as well? Well, we needed more information on this big guy, so we found one of the witnesses that saw him getting into the car and we questioned them. So you saw the alleged attacker leaving the mortuary, right?
Yeah, he came out of Maurice's house and walked over to his car and he drove away really fast.
Alright, so what did he look like?
Well, when he was walking away, all I could really tell is that he was tall, he looked strong, and he was bald.
Okay, well, I mean, did you see or hear anything else?
It sounded like he was yelling something about he was going to block him on Twitter, but that's all I heard before he sped away.
Okay, so here's what we know. There is a ringleader known as the big guy. He's tall, he's broad, he's bald, and he drives a black Volvo. Also, Mortis gave us the hint of bicolor, but I'm not quite sure what that means just yet. Now, while looking into these clues, we received an email from an anonymous person. The main dude at Supercell, like Ilka? The CEO? I mean, surely not. I mean, he is tall, but he has a full head of hair, so that couldn't be him. And then it dawned on us. Frank, the game lead of Brawl Stars, he drives a black Volvo. He's tall, he's broad, he's follically challenged, and to bring it all together, he has a rare condition that makes some of his hair white and some of it not. Bicolor. Now, further investigation shows that he has been very public about Spike never getting a voice. But why? What did Spike do? Why would his voice be taken from him? Now, I placed a call, but they were never returned. I sent Frank messages, but he never responded. And then, in a surprise turn of event, I was banned from Brawl Stars altogether. Now, clearly Frank did not want me to get to the bottom of this, but no, I say, Frank, justice must be served. So we reached out to someone close to Frank and finally got the answers we have long been searching for.
I'll just put it bluntly, Frank is insanely jealous of Spike and his ability to sing. He tried to be a star on Broadway when he was young, but failed miserably. When he found out Spike could sing, he sent his henchman Mr. P to take care of it. When Mr. P caught up with Spike in the Falkland Islands, he told him that if he ever spoke again, he would take out Sakura. And of course, Spike, fearing for the life of his childhood friend, has never spoken since. You're gonna blur me out and use one of those cool voice changer things so Frank doesn't know it's me, right?
So there it is. A developer within Supercell driven to extremes by jealousy. A cactus, silence forever. Will there ever be justice for Spike? Will he ever speak again? There is only one man who can release Spike from these bonds of silence. But will he? As for Mr. P, in the end, he's just a slime ball who likes exploiting people and selling socks, apparently. He's a dastardly little penguin, but that's about it. Dig it? Well, it's dig it. What are you gonna do, right? Frank, however, just because the man couldn't get a part on Broadway doesn't mean he needs to take Spike's voice. Fiddler on the Roof, it may not be you, Frank, but why would you need to do this to Spike? The man could sing and you're jealous. What are you gonna do about it? Are you ever gonna give Spike his voice back? We wait for your answer.
Cool. Just for you.